All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Double honor to the elders. And shalom to the brothers out there pushing the truth and truth and sincerity. My name is Amnawala, and with me I have
Ashawar.
All right, we're doing a show. We're gonna do a continuation on this show about the 10 plagues of Egypt that the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua brought upon the Egyptians to free the children of Israel from the captivity under them. The first show we didn't get into really how they got into Egypt because that last show was about an hour long. Lord willing, this show be a little shorter, so we got more time to the information about this particular God is a little bit shorter, so we got enough time to really get into how they got into Egypt. So with that, read that.
This is Genesis 46:1, and I'm gonna jump around just to get to the point.
Okay.
And it says, "And Israel took his journey with all he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac."
And Israel's talking about Jacob. Well, all the Israelites actually, because all Israel went there. But Jacob's name was changed to Israel.
And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said,
See, speak unto Israel, and he's going to say Jacob, so that's talking about Israel in the first verse.
and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he said, I am God, the God of thy fathers. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation.
Yeah, because the Israelites came into great abundance when we was in Egypt. We came out very populous. I believe it was about 600 some odd thousand Israelites that came out of Egypt that was in the army alone, the men. And you had to be 20 and up. So I go to show you what about the men, the older men that wasn't in the army, what about the young men that wasn't in the army, the women and the young babies.
Right.
So they came out in great abundance.
It says, I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thy eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, and his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And I'm gonna jump down to 28, because that goes into like everybody that came into to Egypt. I'm gonna jump down to 28. It says, and he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen, and Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And I'm gonna say this: what happened with Joseph, it was a spiritual thing, because the reason why Joseph went through that tribulation that he went through, that's like a metaphor for brothers that come into the truth, because sometimes the Lord puts you in a position where you're gonna go through a hardship, right, but it's for your betterment. Just like Joseph going into Egypt, being sold into Egypt, it was a betterment for his whole household, because eventually Joseph became great. All right, he became great in Egypt, and he was able to help his brethren and right, their families. That's right.
And it was also great for the whole nation Israel after that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, you got these guys thinking that Egypt was made great off its own, but nah, Joseph was one of the people, which was an Israelite, that made Egypt a great nation.
That's right.
It says, which were in the land of Canaan, come unto me, and the men are shepherds, for their trade have been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye say, Thy servants' trade have been above cattle from our youth even unto now, both we and also our father, that he may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Okay. Now uh get said Exodus the first chapter.
Yeah, Exodus, when they cried.
Yeah, that's in 2 and 23. You can give
Yeah,
me Exodus 1 to 8.
All right, 1 to 8. All right, and then I'm gonna get 2 and 23. But this is Exodus, the first chapter.
Hold on. Alright.
I'm gonna start.
Alright. If the video just jumped, the connection, Satan or principality air. Connection just got lost, but you can continue from there.
This is Exodus 1 and 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel which came unto Egypt. Every man in his household came with Jacob: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, and Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty. And the land was filled with them.
And that's something that happened here in America. Jake increased exceedingly in America. That's why they came up with. That's why Margaret Sanger came up with Planned Parenthood. And also, when you look at it, you find out about 80% of all abortion clinics are in minority neighborhoods, specifically, black, so-called Hispanic neighborhoods, because Jake is multiplying exceedingly here. So Esau trying to get rid of him, because Esau is a modern day pharaoh in this time. Modern day pharaoh this time of the so-called white man. Go on.
It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the people of the children of Israel are more mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, unless they multiply. And it come to pass that when there are fallen out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, pantheon of Ramses.
Yeah, and that's talking about the pyramids that the Israelites built when they was in Egypt.
That's right.
And talk about nothing else in terms of, the Egyptians built the pyramids. They ain't built no goddamn pyramids. It's the Israelites that built the pyramids.
It says, but the
and Esau knows what's evidence out there on that. Esau just hides it because he does anything. And he's just dead set against the scriptures.
Yeah, because how did those pyramids end up in South America?
Exactly, and in Mexico and so forth.
In Mexico,
they're the same people that built them over there.
Yeah, it says, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptian made it says, and the Egyptian made the children of Israel to serve them with rigor. And just like now, man, we serve so-called white man with rigor. When we was in captivity under the so-called white man, we was serving with rigor, man.
Yeah.
In slavery, I think they said the life of a slave was like 3 to 7 years, because it was cheaper to kill that slave. It was cheaper to kill that slave than to keep that slave alive.
Yeah.
So it's rather for him breed him and then kill him off.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why it was good to kill him rather than keep him alive is because if you fed the slave right, you treated the slave well, taught the slave life, and he or she is continually working, they can receive injuries. So imagine if you have a slave that receives an injury and he can't work to his full potential. He loses his hand at 16, but you treat him well, he lives until he's 58. That's fucking 32 years that's like 42 years of him working missing a limb, and then you feeding him and he's not working at his full potential. That's a waste of a lot of money. So it's better for you to treat him horribly, don't feed him and kill him.
Yeah. So that's why we say the so-called white man's the devil, man.
Yeah.
Cause he made us properties. Now today, the so-called the white man, he knows that we're slaves under him. So when we have kids and when we have our wives, really and truly, he's supposed to take care of our women and our children. You see what I'm saying? Because we slave under him. We under his authority. Yeah. So that's wicked for him to put us under child support. I'm just, Yeah. All right, this is 14th verse. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage,